Welcome into the crypto bunker. Today we're going to be talking about 2022 DeFi blue chips and why I think they are primed for a good year. So if you like how that sounds, stay tuned, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and let's get started. First, I want to start with Chainlink. Chainlink powers the entire DeFi ecosystem. Okay, without Chainlink, we would all be screwed. We would all not, people would be getting liquidated because Chainlink, what it does is it takes data from the outside world and it brings it to the blockchain. So, and then there has to be a consensus on that data. So the consensus price of Chainlink, for example, the consensus price of Ethereum, when it goes down 50% in a day, like in March 2020, and it happens quickly, Chainlink has to be constantly updating that price so that people can, know what their collateral is and things. So with Chainlink, we wouldn't have had the issues we had in 2008 in the financial crisis, with all the people who didn't know what they owned. People were getting liquidated on things that they shouldn't have been, things like that. So what I want to do in this video is I just want to take you through these blue chips that I think are bottoming and I believe are ready and primed for 2022. So the reason I think that we're bottoming, right? I've said this, in the last video, but we do see some volume coming in here. Okay, we see some volume coming in. We also see this rounded bottom that I've been showing on many of these charts. Okay, and we'll take a look at the RSI as well. And what I'm seeing is higher lows. Okay, and I didn't even know. I honestly just looked at that now, and this is like what they all look like. Okay, they have higher lows on the RSI. So we're that to me looks like a bottom. And it looks like Chainlink could run in the short term to about $33. In the long term, we're looking at much bigger targets here for Chainlink. And this is a Fibonacci retracement, and that's what you do. You take the top, and then you have 0 at the bottom and 1 at the top, and then you can come up with these targets. And usually the 2618 is something that we hit and is a good target. Okay, so $115. That's like that's a really good return. That's like a 9x from here, maybe on your money. And so the reason I'm looking at these DeFi coins is because they've just been beaten up. They've been battered. They've been slaughtered. I mean, they've gone through probably the worst bear market that crypto has ever seen through this entire wave. And Chainlink not even as bad as some of the other ones that we'll go through in a second. But if you want some targets for Chainlink, we have the 1618, $76. We have the 2618, 115. We have 153, and then at the very top, the 4236, we have 177. And the Fibonacci retracement, the reason we can use that is because it factors in human emotions, and charts are all just human emotions. That's why I like to cover the charts, is because that will tell you the entire story if you know how to read them. And that's why we can use Fibonacci in the charts, because Fibonacci is in everything in the world, right? It's in seashells, it's in our ear, it's the patterns that we see in many different things around the world, in flowers, right? It's that spiral loop that you always see that has to do with the equation of pi, the number pi. It has to do with the pyramids of Egypt. You can look it up, but a lot of the stuff in the world it comes back to Fibonacci. So that's kind of where we get the charts in that. I also wanted to just look at Polygon because I've given this out like over a month ago. So hopefully you guys are in it by now, but we are breaking out. And the Fibonacci targets are 420, 642, 864, and $10. So for me, my target's going to be around 420. I told you guys like 438 maybe in the last video that we did on Polygon. My original price target was like, I think 380. I moved it, I think 420 is a good number. I like that number. And So yeah, hopefully we break up. The all-time high is 283. So hopefully we break above that. I know a lot of people like to long the top, so they take out leverage. So hopefully we don't experience that. I just kind of want to melt right through it. I think that, again, Polygon, especially leading into the new year, I mean, we could get rejected here, but I think 420 is inevitable for sure, and I will be taking some profits at that point. We didn't talk about Kusama, actually. Kusama is like the cousin chain. This isn't DeFi Blue Chip either, but it is one that I'm looking at, and it's one that I want to own. I think like at least one token. You can actually stake Kusama on Kraken for 18%. So if I have one Kusama token, I can get paid 1.8 Kusama tokens, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, if we take it from the top here, we can see some of the targets coming in, and we just we move it along that line to factor in that top, which is kind of actually really hard to do perfectly. Okay. The 2618, the 1618 is 925, and the 2618 is 1413. So that's more than a 10x for Kusama. And I think that this is possible. I mean, Kusama is one of the first to use the technology of proof of stake. They're one of the first like proof of stake chains that uses a certain technology that they do. A lot of chains are going to be built on top of that of Kusama as like an experiment, which is cool. So that's one I've been looking at. Obviously, Aave. Aave, is a DeFi blue chip, and I believe it has legs here. I think I even called this bottom like a couple. Well, I didn't call the 148. I think I called the bottom at like when we were like over here or something like that. And then we went a little lower, but we rounded out. Same thing, right? Same thing. We rounded out. And we can say that we sort of rounded out here too, and then we came up and then we lost it. So this is really the trend line we want to break around 261. If we break that, we're looking at we're looking higher. We're looking at all-time highs. We have some price targets coming in at 977 at 1486, which is interesting because I've used sort of that price target before. I've said that I think Aave can go to like 1350, sort of similar to what Ethereum did in its first cycle. So that's kind of what I see with Aave is something around those areas. I know it sounds crazy now, but I mean, it's not a 10x, right? It's more of a, a 6 or maybe a 7x from here. So, these are all things that I think are possible in 2022. And I don't know, it depends on what obviously with the people reacting to the Fed, with the interest rates being raised and all that, there will be volatility. There will be, continued volatility. We're used to it in crypto, but the thing is when you're picking coins up at the bottom like this, at the very bottom, I mean, can we really go lower? Like this is essentially where we're at now with Compound is like where we like started. Like this is like this is basically, the market is basically saying this coin is dead. Like it's at zero almost, because what zero is like where we started here, right? I mean, the lowest I guess it went was like $100. The lowest it went here is like 164. And again, we're sort of having this like rounded bottom here. And we have seen some volume come in, not like a ton on Compound yet, but we are seeing a good day today. Some of the targets are similar, but a little bit higher, I think, for Compound than Aave. I guess maybe because it went higher on its initial run. But we have the 1618 coming in at 1392, the 2618 at 2144. And I should say Aave, is a lending and borrowing platform where people can lend their assets and then borrow against them. Aave does have a lot of value locked away in its protocol, and if ETH does really well, then it will only have more. because a lot of the value that's locked is in ETH. Same with a lot of these DeFi protocols. And so Compound is one of those as well that I want to look at. And then Maker. Okay, Maker is another one that has sort of formed this like really good base here. You know, we've touched the base like down over here, here, and here, pretty much. And so those targets we're looking at 13,711 for the 2618. At the very top, we have 21,000. Again, that would be almost a 10x, but 13,000 would be, you know, I think reasonable. 9,187. So to be honest, I'm just buying a basket of these. Okay, so I'm just buying, you know, maybe like $200 to $400 each. And if they all go up, you know, 5x from here, well, you know, then I have, a good stack. You know, maybe I have $8,000 or something from that, just from putting a couple $100 in to these. So I think these are forgotten. You know, people don't talk about these coins anymore, which I like. This is like when I want to be buying, when they're completely dead. They're off the radar. Let's take a look at also Sushi for old time's sake. I love the Sushi community. You know, they're going through a lot of turmoil right now, and it's tough to invest in them right now. To be honest, they're not even on the radar. I also want to look at Curve. So Curve is like completely killing it right now, and it's actually right at this level that I think is pretty important. But if we break this level, I mean, I'm looking at for Curve. Curve's a little bit tougher to draw because it hasn't really gone through like a legitimate cycle. But yeah, we can sort of draw it like that. And then, you know, targets would be around $9. I know it doesn't really even make sense. Like, I think Curve is actually one of the more bullish projects. It has the most total value locked. So we can look at some of these protocols and you know, how they have it locked, how much money they have locked in there. Curve has like 20 billion, maybe even 22 billion now. 22 total value locked, 22 billion. So you can see the market cap to total value locked. So if you're going on that, Curve's the most undervalued. The next, well, I guess Lido would also be one to watch out for. I actually do like Lido as like a small play. It's like a 70 million market cap, maybe even less. It's very, very small. And they are like the premier staking provider for Ethereum. And so I think that's a big deal. You know, once proof of stake comes in, people are going to trust them the most. I am farming Lido on Curve through staking my Ethereum. So you can see some of these total value locks, 10 billion for Compound, Aave 14 billion, Maker 18, Curve 22. So these are blue chips, you know, I mean, these are tons of value locked inside. And so that's something we're looking at. Yearn Finance, you know, $5.6 billion locked. Yearn has been doing really well. Yearn is also a blue chip if you wanted to add Wi-Fi. And Sushi, you know, I feel bad for the Sushi guys because, you know, they didn't ask for this, you know, like they didn't ask for all this to happen. And, you know, some of the guys like that run the AMAs and stuff, like I just feel for them because it's just been a shit show, honestly. But, you know, if we look at the charts on Sushi, and we take out, you know, the RSI, here it is, right? Making higher lows, we're sort of rounding out. So, you know, maybe Sushi, you know, it's not rounding out as nicely as some of the other ones, but, you know, we can see this, it's really, really, really unloved right now in the markets. And so, you know, this is something that if you believe in the Sushi team like I do, you might be able to take a position on them, you know, but, you know, we're looking at targets of, you know, $34, $53, $72, and then $83. on the Fib retracement. So, you know, it broke below these lows. I mean, it's so dead right now. They're actually, you know, it's possible that they get integrated with Daniel Sesta, who's one of the best coders of all time, with Abracadabra money. I also think Spell is a token to look at. So, you know, if I had to look at tokens, it would be, like I said, it would be Comp, Aave, Curve, Link, Maker, Spell, Lido, and you guys already know, like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Matic. You know, those are like probably my 3 biggest investments. And then I like Polkadot and Kusama as well as plays. So that's like my full portfolio for you guys for 2022. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know, hopefully you guys got something out of this. If you have any questions, feel free to, you know, follow me on Twitter at @crypto_bunker, DM me, send a comment on the YouTube, like the video, and have a great holiday.